he won because I'm late. I've been trying to find the final results for Steve Elliott's racing last Sunday in his Lotus Elise that he was driving. I can confirm it was a Honda engine in there, 2 litre, I think it was. Very good. However, don't know where he came because the results weren't out when we left, and we did go to see him, but he didn't know where he'd come either. So it was a close race, and it was some really mixed weather actually as well. It was absolutely brilliant. We had heavy rain, light rain, sunshine, so dry tracks. We had crashes, we had spin-offs, and I'm not kidding. Steve absolutely destroyed the pack. It was on many of his races. I think he did 3 during the day. It was a handicap start, and it was racing amongst other categories as well. So they put him right at the back of the grid, and watching that guy cut through those cars in places that nobody else could overtake, because his car was so agile. The acceleration was phenomenal. It had brilliant braking. It doesn't weigh anything compared to the other cars. It was a pleasure to watch him race. It was absolutely brilliant. I wish you could have been there, to be honest. It was absolutely amazing. Remind me tomorrow. Right, pie, nice. Okay, bear with me. I'm just getting set up. How's the audio and the visual? Camera angle's good. We're all happy with that. Skip the adverts. Jeez, YouTube, come on. Roger Apes. Good morning, Andy and crew from sunny Southland. Good morning, Roger. And welcome back, sir. Days are dropping off the calendar pretty quick, so I should be down there soon. JJ, morning, Andy and crew. Double thumbs up. Good morning, JJ. Virginia Governor, evening, Andy and family, watching from the rainy South Africa. Well, Virginia, we've had quite a bit of rain here in Taupo-ish area. I'm not actually in Taupo. Skip the trial, jeez. The weather hasn't been bad yesterday. It is forecast rain again today. Yesterday, we almost hit a wall yesterday. I was knackered actually. I still am. But we've been doing this service on the second ROV from the surf club. Can't mention the brand, obviously. And unfortunately, the parts that I'd ordered hadn't turned up when I was in Auckland on Friday when I went to go and pick the unit up. So we were down piston and seal kits. And I didn't know whether it needed them or not, but normally they do. Anyway, sure enough, this one definitely needed them. So I was rummaging around almost spares, emergency stock stuff. And I also keep all the old pistons from other calipers. And we managed to find just enough stuff. I think we had to clean a couple of the dust seals. Mrs. Mechanic did a great job, actually, cleaning those seals up. But the rest of them were all brand new from, other bits of kits that I've just kept over the years. So we did manage to cobble the whole thing together. All the calipers have now been rebuilt. They're over there in a box. You can't see them. And they're going to go back on today. I believe the brakes. I haven't got any brake pads for the handbrake caliper. But they're only half warm, so they'll have to go back in again. It's just the way it is. But then we've got everything else. So by the end of today, they should all be done. Everything should be done, and it should be on the trailer. In fact, it will be on the trailer because tomorrow, geez, it's a logistical nightmare at the moment. Tomorrow I've got to go to Palmerston North, which is a good 3.5 hours away from here with a big trailer. It's a fair trek. Pick up another ROV, and on the way home, the plan is to pick up some timber from the timber yard because it's all very close for the floor of the new deck. We've pretty much finished the roof, just needs a few more panels putting on, it's done, other than some guttering, but I'm renowned for not fitting guttering, but it does need guttering. But if we can get that timber picked up at the same time, then I can do the base of the deck over Christmas, in between doing more footwell plates and servicing another one of these ROVs, no doubt. So yes, very busy. Anyway, where do we get to? Right, Simon, how do we get onto that? Simon Rule, good morning. Simon says, morning, Andy and crew. Is the rat back? No, I just saw Mr. Ratty. He'd obviously collapsed on top of the Sheldon's mill. And I thought I'll pick him up, put him in the camera, put him in the frame, make him famous. So, yes. No, there's no ratties. I think there is a mouse. I heard something scampering around last Sunday when we were live streaming, actually. But there's definitely no ratties. I mean, drawers are still nice and clean, and I've still got the other stuff to clean because I've been too busy. So there you go. Bear with me. So apologies, I was a little bit late this morning. I was trying to, in fact, you guys can help me out if you want, because I just ran out of time. The results will be on the internet. Now it's the Taupo International Motorsport Park. There you go, look, make a note of that. Okay, chap's name is Steve Elliott, and he's driving, or drove at the time. I should have rung him actually and got the final results off him, but he's a busy chap. So, Steve Elliott, loads of Lees. Oh, it's an 1800. I am sure he told me it was a 2-litre. I'm sure, I think maybe the program was wrong. So he's on there, look. It's got a little circle next to it, 78. There you look, Steve Elliott. So, if you can find, for me, because I'm really intrigued to find out, what Steve's final position was on the Summer Series, Round 3 at the Taupo International Motorsport Park. There you go, Sunday the 20th of November, 2022. And it was a fantastic day out. We really, really enjoyed it. I'm very pleased that we went. We nearly didn't go, but we did. And it was great. And Mrs. Mechanic loved it. Richard Perry says, morning, Andy and crew GB. Thumbs up. Absolutely, Richard. Thank you. The Giant, Andy, what happened to your cap? Ah, well, the cap's over on the... In fact, it's just there, look, on the bike. Here, I'll put it to vote. Would you prefer me to put the cap on? Does it make any real difference, to be honest? You know? I will be wearing caps in the videos, for sure, because I need to. But for live streams, I don't know. Shake it up a bit. Why not? Let me know what you think. Connor K, plus you can see my massively receding hairline that's going on at the moment. That's from wearing crash helmets for many, many years. I still do. It's not good. Right. Connor K, good morning, Andy and the crew. Good morning, Sir Connor. Oh, I have some news. I do. This is going to be a laugh. Are you ready for this? Right. You're the first lot to, other than in family, you're the first lot to know. And see, these comments are going to be great. As you know, in Scotland, there are many big estates, and many of which the various individuals, for various reasons, were given big chunks of land, and they were called lords. And you may have heard this. I was watching a Drive Tribe video the other day, and it said, hey, make yourself a lord. Buy a little bit of land in Scotland from an estate, and then you can call yourself lord. So I did. It's all for, good cause where they plant trees and things, but you also actually get title of the land, which is really cool. And a certificate, which is nice. So just for a laugh, I decided to purchase 5 square feet of Scotland. So I now own 5 square feet of Scotland somewhere. I've got it on a map somewhere, on my other laptop actually. And I can, if I wish to, call myself officially a lord. Now, Mrs. Mechanic's very happy because she can then call herself Lady Mrs. Mechanic. So I thought it'd be quite cool to talk to Alan at work. Alan doesn't watch my live streams, do you, Alan? So it's all good. And have my business cards changed, my to Lord Andrew Young. I thought that'd be a laugh. What do you think? I mean, I'm sure it's legit because, it was on Drive Tribe. It must be legit, right? They'll have done some research. They aren't going to plug something that's not right. Right. That's going to get the comments going. Billy Josh. Evening, Andy, from cold England. England probably is pretty damn cold. Simon, you should have said, I have a bag full of dust seals. The race lads don't like dust seals in the calipers. I suppose not, maybe. Simon, Lord Andy, correct. Thank you very much. I thought it'd be a laugh. Kids didn't believe me to start off with, then I sent them through all the paperwork stuff that I've been sent, and they're like, seriously, you a lord? I am. Well, I am once I get it, I don't know what I need to do. If I get it put on my driver's license first, that's probably a good start, and then it sort of shows it's official, right? Maybe that's a good one to do. The Giants, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter making this go. Just hang on. I don't promise. Doesn't matter making a difference whether you wear a cap or not, or whether we're watching you wearing a cap or not, is what the Giants trying to say. Thank you very much. As the summer approaches, it gets really hot, and wearing a cap doesn't do my head any good at all. So that's probably one of the reasons why I've stepped across a little bit to not wearing it all the time. I mean, I used to wear it literally all the time, whether I was on camera or off camera. I'd always wear a baseball cap. And just fixing bikes and stuff. But I don't know, you get hot and sweaty, and it's not very nice. So I don't need to wear it all the time. Colin K, Andy, concerning wearing a cap or not in the live stream, you have to do what makes you the most comfortable. Cheers, Connor. Appreciate that. UK Mechanic, established titles. That's the one, established titles. Yes. Lord Andy. There you go. Now, has anybody watched Colin Furr's most recent video? All I can say is I am incredibly jealous. I really am. He's just, well, I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert, but he has a new workshop. It's not to replace the old workshop. It's in addition to, so he can do these massive projects. But wow, he's got some serious kit in there. You've got to watch it. There's some really awesome stuff in there now. Simon, yes, what a workshop. Workshop, the word workshop doesn't even cover it, Simon. It's just awesome, and the attention to detail. I mean, I know it's still work in progress, but I was watching that video yesterday, Mrs. Mechanic, and I was just in awe. Absolute. I mean, just having that physical dry space would be just amazing. All I've got is this little shed. But I mean, however, Colin did make a very, very valid point, and I agree completely. I think a lot of people watch Colin Furr's, or did originally watch Colin Furr's, because he was in a little garage, because they could relate to it. That they could set up their own little workshop and do similar kind of projects. And Colin was very, very forceful is the wrong word, but he gets it. He's got this wonderful big workshop that nobody else with any, realistically could ever afford to have. So it becomes unrelatable. Yes, it's great fun to watch the videos and stuff, but it's anything anybody could ever replicate themselves, or not very easily anyway, not without selling the house. So he made that valid point that a lot of the projects will still be done in his old workshop, in his house workshop, which is the character, isn't it? That's the real Colin Furr's that we all know. But he does do some monster projects, and he needs bigger space. And then I feel for the neighbours, to be honest. He must make so much noise. I mean, the guy put a Christmas tree all the way through his house from the ground floor onto the roof. I mean, who does that, really? Colin does, obviously. Simon, been watching the C90 adventures with that mini Jeep thing. Awesome. What's the channel? Just tell me again, the channel on that one. Because they are pretty cool. I do like watching that kind of stuff. Daniel Bedell, good day, mate. Good morning, Daniel. Welcome back to the workshop. We have a total of 22 viewers and 10 likes, which means 12 of you don't like what you see yet. C90 Adventures. Hang on, I'm going to have a look. I might watch some of those later on while I'm finishing my calipers off and doing other stuff. C90 Adventures. Oh, there, look. I'm going to subscribe to that. Yes. Nice. So the YouTube channel is C90 Adventures, no gaps. Appears to have forgotten his riding gear. Oh, this looks cool. Oh, I like this. No wonder he's got more subscribers than I have. This looks awesome. How many videos has he got? Doesn't matter how many you have, really, does it? It's all about it's about quality, not quantity. Oh, look at that lot. Right, that's it. Found a new channel. Thank you, Simon. Job done. I'll be watching those. I'll be really watching those. I'll watch them tonight, actually, as well. I'll give it fair justice. I'll watch them tonight. I didn't bring the ashtray. What a plonker. Now, pie. Let's crack on with the pie, because I have got a lot of work to do, and I don't want it to be a late night. In fact, yesterday, I nearly gave up at 3 o'clock. I was knackered. And good old Mrs. Mechanic, sorry, I won't use the word old. Good old Mrs. Mechanic, she kept me going. She pushed me through, and we kept working till about 5:30, which was quite acceptable. And we got all the calipers sprayed, rebuilt, and they're all ready over there to go back on the ROV. So I've only got engine oil, diff oils, spark plug valve clearance to do. Put the calipers on, bleed the brakes, a little bit of shuts around the place. Mrs. Mechanic will do the air filter, and then put it all back together and check the tyre pressures and then torque the wheel nuts up. And that's about it. We're nearly there. Things are looking good. Right, anyway, the pie, we digress again. This is a steak and cheese pie. It is from Wanganui, which is down on the west coast of the North Island. I was there on Thursday. And I just thought, oh, while I'm here, I better get a pie for Sunday. And I remembered, so I did. So I Googled it. That's the best pies in Wanganui. And it came up with, and it's not a very well titled bakery, to be honest. It's called 141, which is the number of the property, 141 Bakery and Coffee Shop, and it's on Victoria Avenue in Wanganui. That's it. I didn't get a picture of the shop. It's pretty, there are some photos on here on Google, so you can Google it if you want. 141 Bakery and Cafe. It really is your generic New Zealand cafe. It's a lot of stainless steel, lots of food cabinets up on the counter. You help yourself, you go to the till, you pay for it, you go and sit down, you eat it. It's quite a, there's not a lot of atmosphere to the place. It's quite, and a lot of the cafes in New Zealand are like this. It's quite sterile, you know, you just go there to eat and then you bugger off basically. It's not like it's not like some of the cafes in the UK. You know, it really isn't. So I'll show you the picture. I'll turn you around. Hang on. I'll take it out of the tripod. Boom. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, there you go. That is the inside of the cafe. So as you can see, all the food cabinets over on the right, on top of the counter. Tills right down the bottom. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good for a New Zealand cafe. But it's not really about the cafe, is it? It's more about their production of food and what it tastes like. And they're supposed to have won some awards, so I'm told. Terrible photography, Mr. Young. And to camera. There we go, look. Right. This is the pie. And the young lady that served me, she was an Asian lady, which I don't have any problems at all with. And she was incredibly helpful and incredibly welcoming. She was really, really nice. I explained to her what I was doing, that we're going to review this pie on my YouTube channel on Sunday. And she was really inquisitive about it. So I ended up buying 4 different pies, of which have gone in the freezer. This is the one for today. And a quick close-up. There you go, look. So it's got some go faster stripes. Boom, 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 boom. Look underneath. So from a structural perspective, it's pretty much 100%. It has got the old puff pastry on top, which means we're probably going to see some, look here, look, see some failure of the actual, the gluing, the bonding of the top to the base due to thermal expansion, whatever, I don't know. But most likely, we've seen it on a few pies. When they use puff pastry on top, it normally just flakes off and splits and becomes a bit of a palaver. So let's go and get this in the pie warmer, and then I'll come back to the comments. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Right. Oh, I got a new box. I'll show you that shortly. Okay, to the pie warmer. Look at that for photography. Brilliant, isn't it? Keeping it in focus all the way across. Right, now I haven't cleaned the pie warmer. Right, in it goes. It's out of the fridge, so 22, 23 minutes. There we go, perfect. Right, cook, little pie, cook. Okay, I'll warm up. Now, that box, quick look at the box, and then we'll go back to the comments since I'm already up. Gotta move some stuff. Bear with me. Oh, jeez. Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me. I'll set you up over there, look, so you can see what's going on. Triumph stuff. And cardboard. Right, here we go. Okay, so I was in one of the motorcycle shops, and they also sell Husqvarna chainsaws and stuff, weed whackers and things, of which, as you know, I'm a great Husqvarna fan. And I saw this box. Just sat on the ground, covered in dust. And I thought, ooh, I need a good box when I'm in the South Island to go on back of that quad bike when I'm doing the testing, with the oscilloscope on my laptop. So I opened it up and I thought, oh wow, look at this. Obviously it's designed for something, but it's got a really good rubber seal running all the way around. It's fully sealed. It's double lined. It's one of those expandable plasticky mold things. And I'm actually very, very happy with it. I said, well, how much do you want for it? Because there was no price on it. And he rummaged around. He says, well, these things are pretty expensive. They retail for $300. And I says, well, for $300, I can't afford to buy that. So he says, you know what, Andy? I says, what? He says, you can have this for $50. And my eyes lit up. I thought, well, $50. If I tried to get anything else from, say, Bunnings or Mitre 10, which is like the B&Q over here, I wouldn't be able to get anything of this kind of quality for $50. So I said, you know what? I'm going to snap your hand off. I'll have it. So there you go. We've got ourselves a Husqvarna sealed, properly sealed box for my testing in the South Island. All I need to do now is kit it out somehow. Probably the scope will sit down the bottom and I'll put a false shelf in with the laptop on top. So I can just open the lid, open the laptop and do what I need to do. Obviously, there's going to need to be a hole somewhere for all the wires to come in and out, but we'll work that one out later on. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It's quite a nice finish. It's got little aluminium plates, spreader plates there. Look for the handles that are on the end. So, it's somebody's thought about it. And steel catches, not stupid little plastic ones. It's all metal stuff. So it's obviously built to last as well. So very, very happy with that. It's pretty robust. Right. I think that's just about everything I have to show you today, really, around the workshop. There's not much else going on at the moment. Okay, turn you around, 3, 2, 1, boom. Back to the comments. Dum, 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 dum. Right, let's get you set up because you're all over the place at the moment. There we are, that'll work. Okay, slurp of coffee before it goes cold. Oh, nice. Daniel, sorry I've missed the last 4 live streams. That's all right, Daniel, don't worry about it. It's all good, matey. Just good to have you back. Alan Cook, hiya, I will see you after the new year. Okay, Alan, safe trip if you're going somewhere. Right, so not too high are we on the camera? Oh, there's a bug. Oh, there's a spider on the camera, jeez. Something's not quite right. That'll do, that'll work, that's better. Okay, Vijayant. The picture of the breakfast looks very delicious. It does. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's supposed to be an award-winning pie. I was in Wanganui years and years ago with Ben. We were doing a bike trip. And I remember a pie shop. And it was on the high street. And it was almost like a butchery out the front. You went in, it was just pies. But they had, I remember there was loads of little stickers in the window of award-winning pies and all these stickers of every year that they'd won for New Zealand. And it's just not there anymore. I've driven up that high street so many times in the last few years, and I just cannot find it. I think it's gone. And it didn't come up with the search either when I did the Google search. So, what a shame. But it was a very nice pie that me and Ben had all those years ago. Ad lupus umbra. Looks like a perfect pie. Test time. Absolutely. John Nuttall. Lord Andy. Someone has just fly tipped lots of rubbish and Japanese knotweed on your land. It's your problem now. Now you're the landowner. Well, if they have tipped it on my land, they've done really well because it's in the middle of friggy nowhere. Is my little piece of land, and it's quite funny actually because when you go onto the map that you can view, you can name your piece of land. So I've named it, but you can also see everybody else's pieces of land and what they've named theirs as, and it's quite funny. We've got this little sort of congregation now of really abstract named chunks of land in Scotland. I mean, I think you're probably going to have the right to walk to your piece of land to inspect it. I don't think you could drive there. It really is. It looks a bit too rugged for that. But I think you could walk there, and I mean, 5 square feet. You could probably get a very, very small tent on there. One that you sleep stood up, maybe. You could put a flag in it. If any of the kids goes back to England, they can put a flag in a bit of land. Lord Young's land, you know? Could be a bit of a laugh, couldn't it? I just want to see Alan's face at work when I say to him, you need to call me Lord Young now, or Lord Andy. It's going to be I've done it for a laugh. That's all I've done it for. And you know, if I can get it pulled off where they have to call me Lord at work, that'd be even better, wouldn't it? So anyway, the fly tipping, I agree with you, but I think chances are there's plenty of other land around mine before, you know, off the main road, which would probably be a bit easier to fly tip on than mine. You don't get to choose your bit of land. You just tell them how much land you want, and then it gets nominated to you, you know, designated. Harry Dog, hi all. There we go. Yes, I meant hi all. Simon, a flag with a with a holly sticker on it. Yeah, no, Mrs. Mechanic would be too happy about that, to be honest. But anyway, let's wait and see. Possibly, maybe. I'll blame it on you, Simon. I will. No spiders in there? No. So, the racing. What was going on? Well, there was quite a few different vehicle types out on the racetrack in Taupo. And forgive me, I don't know all the names of the various classes and so on. I've got the program, so that's going to help me a little bit. But we arrived there. Let me have a little look. We arrived there around about 11:30, I think it was, just after 11:30. And there was the SS2000K sports cars and all classic Japanese. They were racing at the time. It was called a scratch race. Now, a scratch race, as I understand it, they all start from the grid, right? Scratch race from the grid. Handicap race, well, it wasn't actually a rolling start, the handicap race. They were actually, oh, was it? Yes, it was, because they started from the grid and they did like a warm-up lap, and then then they came back round. That's right, they came back round, and then they were on the grid, but they were stagger started depending on the class they were in and how fast they'd done them during qualifying and stuff. But there was some Utes racing. So when Steve went out on his last race, which was the best one actually, there was, I think Mrs. Mechanic counted nearly 30 vehicles on the track. It was the busiest race that had to up to that point. And there was Utes on there. There was little small Japanese cars. There was some big V8s on there, V8 saloon cars. And then there was little Steve in his Lotus Elise. And it looked tiny compared to all the other vehicles on the, especially the Utes. I mean, the Utes looked massive compared to this little car that Steve was driving. But he, whether it was a dry track or a wet track, it just didn't make any difference. The guy you could see him looking for every opportunity to blast past the next car. And he started right at the back of the pack, and there's these 30-odd cars ahead. And he was chewing through them real quick. And then he got to a point where he caught up with this, I don't know what it was a black car, massive spoiler on it. And he just couldn't get past it. Steve could beat him in the corners. He had better handling in the corners. But this other car, the one that he was hunting down, it just had phenomenal acceleration out of the corners. Steve could get the hammer down a bit earlier because he was lighter. But, so you'd see Steve catch up, and then this other car, woof, off it go, and then the same thing had happened at the next corner. But other than that, but I don't know if that car was in the same group. See, I don't know. Honestly, I'd never make a very good motorsport commentator because I wouldn't have a bloody clue what's going on. And that's one of the things they lacked. Where we parked, the speakers weren't working. And when the race was over, there was no board to see who'd won. You just didn't get to find out. I mean, if you were down in the pits or you were in the main grandstand area, then maybe they'd have said something over the tannoy. But where we were parked up, there was nothing. So it was a little bit difficult to follow sometimes. But Mrs. Mechanic did pretty well. She sort of made quite a few notes on our little sort of schedule thingy, the program. But yeah, it was bloody good. We didn't leave. Oh, we left must have been about 4:30, I think it was, because we went to go and see. We didn't want to bother Steve between races because he's a very focused driver. This Steve, he doesn't like to be bothered when he's in the mindset of driving, he is the driver for the whole day. He doesn't like talking to people during the day. He doesn't like to work on the car during the day. He has a mechanic to do all that. He just drives. So we went to go and see him after the last race, and obviously he was on a high because he'd done really well. I don't know quite how well, but he was very talkative. I had a great chat with him, and he was saying, I said, well, while you're out there on that last race, that big race with all the utes and stuff, what was it like? Did you not feel intimidated by these big vehicles? And he said, well, not the sheer size of them, no, because obviously he's a lot lower down than most of the cars, so he's looking up at them as he's overtaking them. He said the biggest problem is with the utes, especially because they're so light at the back end, and it was wet, was that race. He said they tend to drift across the track. The back end of the ute just lets go, and they just steer into it and keep going. So he says the last thing you should ever do is try and overtake a ute on a corner. You have to take the inside line because the ute's bound to go wide. And if you're on the wrong side of him at the time, you're going off the track because the utes weigh a lot more than his little car, you see. So that was quite interesting. But he's very, very happy with the car. He has changed the suspension setup. He's got better brakes on there. He's got different tyres, different wheels. And it's been on the dyno. They've done a fair bit of tuning on it. And he says it goes a lot quicker now than it used to do. But it's still early days, there's still more work he's got to do on the car. And he doesn't want to push it too hard because, of course, reliability is fundamental to winning races, right? So no, it was pretty cool. In fact, it was very, very cool to watch him. It was by far the best racing I'd seen here in New Zealand, without a shadow of a doubt. It was very, very cool. Now, for James, Lord Andy, you need to design a flag to state your land. I do. And I was thinking, and sometimes Mum watches these live streams. I don't think she's not said she has for a while, but she normally does. I remember at our house as a child, we had on the wall a coat of arms, and it had obviously our surname underneath. Now, if as a family we do in fact genuinely have a coat of arms, then that would fit in extremely well with the Lord Andy flag, wouldn't it? So I need to do a bit more investigation work on that. Mum, if you do watch this, can you send me an email and let me know? And if you've got a photo, or if you've still got the coat of arms, take a picture, send it through, and then maybe I can get a flag made up. We can send Mum off to Scotland to go and put it in the ground. She'll need a GPS, obviously, and it could be quite a hike. Could be fun. She'd like that, being sent to the middle of frigging nowhere to go and put a flag in the ground, wouldn't she? J. Billy Josh, haha, I've got one. Have you now? Good man. So, plan of attack for next week. I'm extremely busy. Well, all right, let's do a recap of last week so you all know where I was, just to confirm. So, on the Monday morning, I embarked on a 4-day mission. So, first of all, I went to Taranui, if you're starting to get an idea of where places are in New Zealand. So, Taranui is west of basically where I live. It takes about an hour and a half to get there, and I got there a bit late. In actual fact, I was supposed to get there for 9:30, but I had a mountain of admin work that I had to get done. It was absolutely critical, so I pushed the visit through until, I think it was 2 o'clock. Yes, it was 2 o'clock visit. Now, it wasn't too long ago that I was there before, so I just made it about an hour visit. We just got a few things tidied up, and then I was on my way. I left about 3:30, I think, from memory, and after I'd fueled up. And then I had to get to a place called New Plymouth. Now, New Plymouth is out on the west coast. It sort of sticks out on a lump that sticks out of the country, of the coastline. And getting to New Plymouth was quite interesting because the weather had turned at that point, and there was some extremely heavy rain. There were weather warnings all over the place. We had thunder and lightning. There was a lot of water running down the roads. I went the Forgotten Highway route, which is a bit more of a back road to get to New Plymouth. It takes about the same amount of time than if you take the main road, which takes you quite a long way north to then come south again, which is to me a bit dumb. So I usually go Forgotten Highway. It's usually pretty quiet down there. But there was a lot of landslips, a lot of mud across the roads, rocks, and quite a few places there was streams running across the road that would never normally be there. Lots of amazing waterfalls coming out of the cliffs that I hadn't seen before, and it was only because there was such heavy rain at the time. But I made it through, and I got to New Plymouth about it was quite late actually. It's quite a drive. The reception at the hotel closed at 7 p.m. and I got there at 10 to 7, and it had stopped raining, which was good. So I just got checked in time, otherwise I'd have had to leave my key somewhere, which is always a bit of fun, trying to find out where they've hidden it. So I got checked in okay. And then Tuesday was a visit in New Plymouth in the morning. And then in the afternoon was a visit in a little place called Stratford. Sure it's called Stratford or Stafford? Stratford, sure it is. So did that one, and then went back to New Plymouth, back to the digs. It's about half an hour's drive to Stratford from New Plymouth, so that wasn't too far. It's easier doing that than it is, and there aren't very many decent accommodation places in Stratford. It's quite a small little town, to be honest. It's pretty shit, in all honesty, really. I'm not really a fan of Stratford at all. So back to New Plymouth, and they've got a nice restaurant just over the road from the hotel called Level 41. Went there for tea both nights. Thoroughly recommend it if you're in the area. And then Wednesday morning, got back in the truck and drove all the way to Hawera. Now, Hawera's a bit further, it's the same road. You go through Stratford to get there again. It's sort of on, it's further round the coast to New Plymouth, further south, but still on the west coast. So I got there, and I was there for quite some time, actually, getting that one sorted out. The internet connection's pretty crap down there. And then from there, I stayed there about an hour longer than I should have done. I was there about 4 hours all up. And then drove to Wanganui. I did some admin work when I got there. I didn't get there till about tea time. And then they have a nice, it's like the hotel that I stay at in Wanganui, they've got a pub downstairs, so you can eat in-house. And I didn't even leave the hotel, I don't think, because it was pouring down the rain. Had some tea, back upstairs, watched some telly, fell asleep, as you do. Although I did a report, that's right, I did a report after tea, which took quite a while to upload. And then I got up stupidly early and did another report like an idiot that I am. I think it was about 5:45 in the morning when I started doing that one. And then I had a bike shop visit. I was doing admin, that's right. I was doing admin until, I've got to check out at 10 o'clock. So I did admin until 10 a.m. And then went to the bike shop, and I was at the bike shop for 11. Left there about 2:30. I would say I was there a little bit longer than I should have been, but I did, and then drove home. And the drive home went via Taupo, which is a slightly longer route, but I managed to pick up some tea in Taupo and bring it home. Otherwise, Mrs. Mechanic would have had to cook, and it was getting quite late, so it worked out all right. And then Friday was a mission. Friday, I had to go to Auckland. I had to take 2 ROVs back that I had under seal. We got those finished. Mrs. Mechanic was a great help with those as well. Got them all put back together. We actually put them back together on the Friday morning because the under seal was too tacky to do previously. We just ran out of time. And we went to the racetrack, we had to make a decision. So put them back together on the Friday morning. And we left here, I think about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Somewhere around there. Let's say 1:30, splitting hairs. And got up to head office. Had a pretty good run actually. Got there I think it was about 5:10 when we rolled through the gates. So the staff were still there, still working. So I got unloaded, loaded up this Surf Club ROV, and we got home about 10 p.m. Friday night. It would have been a lot of driving, 500 and something kilometers, so about 300 miles if you're in England. It's a fair trek. Weather wasn't too bad. The roads were pretty dry most of the time. Everything was hunky-dory really, no punches, no issues at all. But just time out of the vehicle was very, very limited. It was just a case of unload, load up, hit the road again. And we did get caught up in a bit of traffic, which slowed us down on the return journey. But got all that done, and then yesterday morning, made a start on the service. So it's been go, go, go every single day, to be honest. I'm pretty knackered. Where do we get to? Igor's Boroskis! Hey there. Update on the intake boots. Oh, good. Contacted the UK dealer in London. They said that no back order available. I should 3D print them. Well, that's not. Oh, bug. That's not ideal, is it? Because 3D printing is a bit brittle. It's not really the right kind of stuff. Okay. I would suggest you're going to have to start looking around for another possible supplier. Maybe Simon can help you with that. He tends to know places that you can get stuff from. J. Billy Josh, coat of arms saying my ancestry is Scottish. Very cool. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of Scottish in me as well, but again, Mum can confirm that. Simon Rawle, Scottish Lord Young. Still a no to haggis then. Yeah, not a fan of haggis. Maybe I'm the only potentially Scots with a tiny percentage of Scotsman in me. That sounded terrible, isn't it? Scottish heritage, let's call it that. Bloodline. Freedom, which doesn't like haggis. Not into haggis. Just don't like haggis. So, plan for next week. Assuming we get this ROV finished today, which we really have to do, we've got a very tight schedule, and logistics will all collapse if we don't. Although I do have a slight backup plan. It's always good to have a backup plan, because things don't always go to plan. Backup plans are good. So tomorrow morning, down to Palmerston North, grab the ROV, get some timber on the way home, hopefully I can fit it all on. It's going to be quite a heavy trailer. Get home, and then, because it'll be quite late, I imagine, unload the timber the following morning, which shouldn't take very long at all. If we haven't finished this ROV service, got to finish it then, so it's going to be a very early start. And then chuck this on the trailer. Oh, there goes the pie. Pie. Chuck this one on the trailer, get up to Auckland. So this one will be on the trailer and the one we picked up from Palmerston North. So a full load again, back to Auckland, get those unloaded. In fact, unload the, in fact, that'll have to go on the back. Yes, you just reminded me how to load the trailer up. Got to remember to do that. So I'll have to have a bit of a shuffle around. And then at some point during that week on an evening, probably Wednesday evening, I've got to go over to Piha, drop that one off, and potentially pick up their third one. Although I won't be starting the service on that until after I get back from the South Island. So they're going to be without that machine probably for 6 to 8 weeks. Because obviously we've got Christmas and stuff, and I won't be going back to Auckland. Maybe I can get up to Auckland a bit sooner than that. I just don't know. But that's worst case scenario. So they may say, hey, look, leave it with us for now, because over Christmas is a really busy time for them. And we'll push the service back to January. And I'll go and pick it up after I've been to the South Island and done the Christmas stuff, So that's the plan. I'll be in Auckland all week. In actual fact, we've got our staff Christmas party, which will be nice, on the Friday night. So I won't be coming home until I'll be leaving to come home on the Saturday morning, and I'll be bringing the big trailer back. Now, it might have that third ROV on it. It may come back empty. I just don't know yet. So that's work in progress. But then Sunday, I think we'll put up a Christmas tree. Not in the workshop. That's the plan. No workshop on Sunday. The weekend's going to be a normal kind of weekend. Although I do have to have a few hours in the workshop to set up that box with the scope and the laptop and all the bits and pieces that I need in it. So, and it's all going to be bolted in and nice and tight, because it's going on the back of a quad bike. It's going to be bouncing around, and if anything in there is loose, it could cause damage. So it's going to be really well set up. That'll be fun to do. So that's probably going to be most of Saturday doing that, to be honest, messing around doing that. Sunday, Christmas tree. And then Monday morning, I set off with the little trailer to Napier. A few visits to motorcycle shops, ending up in Wellington on Thursday night. And I get on the ferry on the Friday. And I won't be coming back until it's 22nd of December. What a mission, eh? So lots and lots going on. Igors, I am going to get the 2 available ones for now. Yes, please do. No clue what to do with the other ones. Keep searching. There's got to be some out there somewhere. What about eBay out of the States? There's a lot of dealers in the States. Maybe they can help. J. Billy Josh, I had haggis last night and tonight for my dinner, and did a stew with it. Added, and it was lovely. Very nice. Well, you can have mine. I'm just not a fan of haggis. Simon, going to look at a bench top milling machine on Monday. Very good. So may have a new toy in the shed. New toys in the shed are the best things ever. They really are. Igor Zgroskis, can you not find a place to make them for you? Somewhere that makes hydraulic seals, maybe? That's a good point. I mean, if you've got the old ones, they've got something to start with, haven't they? Very good idea. So yeah, South Island. Oh, did we get a thingy? Hang on. I think somebody's messaged me. Bear with me. Be quiet, the old phone today. Oh, here's a comment from the YouTube channel. From a Jan B. This series helped me greatly in getting my own K2 sorted. Much appreciated. Obviously been watching me doing Alan's bike. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Give you a shout out there on a live stream. Pretty cool. No, nothing over interesting on the phone at the moment. Getting lots of emails now from the established titles people saying, buy some more land. I don't want any more land. 5 feet square is enough for my little kingdom. Igors, eBay is one option, but no new old stock. All just used ones with the whole airbox. So I am not sure if I get anything better than I have now. Correct. Yeah, I think chances are they'll have gone hard. Of a Jane Governor, what new tools have you recently? In actual fact, I haven't. Oh, I haven't bought any new tools recently. Oh, this is Mrs. Mechanic in the family, I think. Oh no, hang on, this is an important one. Okay, don't need to discuss that. I can tell you actually. Very difficult to get your car windscreen changed at the moment, by the sounds of it. Yes, not good. So new tools. No, I have been using the little ratchets a lot more now though. That Jim Haynes sent over. I'll show you the ones. Hang on, let's go for a wander because the pie's ready. Dum dum dum. Right, turn you around. Oh, I've got things in the way. Get rid of that. Terrible. Camera work, Andy. Right, there we go. Okay, so these ratchets in here, extremely good. I really, really enjoy using these now. Using that one yesterday in the calipers. Absolutely fantastic little 1/4 inch drive. At 120 teeth, super smooth. And then one of the calipers was a little bit reluctant, so I used the larger one. And it had no chance with that. Although I did stab my hand. Which hand was it? It was this one. I'll show you. Can you see a little tiny, just by my thumb, I can't point it out, but anyway. Just there, you can see a little cut. So I was bleeding all over the workshop. But hey, you know what? The superpowers have struck again. It's all healed up in one day. Brilliant. Job done. Right, the pie. Here we go. Dum 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 dum. Ooh, so has the lid lifted, or have they used some proper glue? Oh, it's lifted a little bit there, look, but it hasn't compromised the sealing of the pie, which is good. Right, it's going to be quite hot, so bear with me. Don't want to drop the pie. Ooh, this looks good. This looks really good. Sticking down there, we're on a bit of clean stuff. Right, turn you around, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, well, let it cool down a bit because it is really, really hot. And I made the mistake last week of trying to eat a pie that was too hot, and I burnt my mouth big time. Where do we get to? Igors, Simon Roll, there is one friend of mine that works at one place like that. We'll ask for his opinion. More spiders. There's lots of spiders around today. Yes, do that, Igors. I think you're going to have to start thinking out of the box a little bit with those and try and get some made up. It's not going to be easy, though. Springy2112. Hey, Andy. I'm still watching all the videos, but rarely catch the live ones. How's the rodent situation lately? No rodents whatsoever. I actually got round to cleaning the 4 big drawers that Mr. Ratty had been using as his canteen and effluent disposal and living quarters, probably. I did actually open one of the drawers one day, and Mr. Ratty was in there when I opened the drawers. He just looked at me and froze. He was like this, you know. I thought, oh, I've got to get a picture. So I went across to grab my phone, and obviously by the time I got back, he'd legged it, he'd scarpered. Little bastard he was. But no, they're all gone. They're all dead or left, whichever. But we put lots and lots of poison out and stuff and traps and things. And they worked brilliantly. Yes, no more Mr. Ratties and Mrs. Ratties or baby Ratties. They've all gone somewhere. Either, in fact, 2 of them we buried under one of the giant posts that I put down for the gate onto the property. You ain't getting out of there. No chance. Now, so an update on the ultimate farm bike trip that we did back in January. Mrs. Mechanic has been working incredibly hard going through all the rushes for Grant. Now, Grant is a good friend of mine who I do the filming with for work, and he agreed to take on the editing of that series, which I was very, very grateful for. Obviously, I'm paying him to do it. I have no idea how much I'm paying him yet. That's work in progress, but we'll wait and see. But to save a lot of his labour time, and it would have been an astronomical amount of labour time, Mrs. Mechanic has gone through all the rushes. So we've got the dash cam in the car, we've got the GoPro that was on the bike, we've got all the pieces to camera on 3 different phones. And luckily, I categorized it all. It's all on a hard drive. And she's watched absolutely everything. And she's sort of pieced it all together like a jigsaw puzzle, trying to get all the good bits. Because there's a lot of boring stuff. When you're filming all day long for 14 days, you can imagine there's a lot of dead footage, really, of just my back on a bike going down a gravel road. And no, I didn't fall off. So there isn't that to go in. Well, I nearly fell off a couple of times. Didn't quite fall off. But hang on, is that a text? What's that? We've got all sorts going on today. Oh no, it's just a reminder of some old photos. Thank you, Google. Appreciate that. So she's now on day 4, I believe. Now the first episode to go out will probably cover day 1 and 2. It might include day 3. I don't know how much duration of good stuff there is. Mrs. Mechanic's sort of more in charge of that. So we're hoping that episode will go out before Christmas. Christmas isn't very far away. So when I go to Napier not next week, the week after next, on my way down to the South Island, so it'll be a week on Monday, I go to Napier. I'm going to stay at Havelock North, which is where Grant's based. And we're going to have a meeting at the pub. He'll bring his laptop down. And the plan is that I get to watch the first draft of episode 1. Well, no doubt there'll be a few minor tweaks. There might still be some graphics and stuff to go on. But within a week or 2, it's going to be tight, he should have it all edited up, and I'll then have the episode to upload to the channel as a Christmas special. So that'd be very, very cool. So we are sort of on schedule, but say Mrs. Mechanic has put in a tremendous amount of work to date to get to where we are now. And she's got a really good procedure put together now of how to record all the bits and pieces and the bits that she wants in the video. So Grant's already commented on how well she's done. He says he's never had anything like that before, and it's going to be a massive help. And he has already started, so it's really, really good. I'm so keen to see what comes out. Now, back to the comments. Simon, has the monkey bike got a name yet? No, I just keep calling it Monkey. Every time I push it out of the garage, I just go, Monkey, whenever I see it. Mrs. Mechanic, I don't think has yet given it a name, but it will no doubt get a name. John, I goes Vroskis. What are the intake boots off CC in year? You see, it started, hasn't it? The help is coming. Killswitch BB, hey guys and dolls, how are we all doing? Just fine. We're doing all right, I think. Nobody's grumbling at the moment. And Kill Switch, how are you, matey? You're good? How are the bikes? Igors, John Nuttall, they are from a Suzuki GSX 1100F Katana 1993. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find some somewhere. There's got to be a set out there somewhere. Somewhere in the world, there'll be a set with your name on. Cold coffee, nice. Okay, so the pie. Now, for those that have just joined us, this pie is from a cafe in Wanganui on 141 Victoria Street. And that's the name of the cafe, 141 Cafe and... It's not a restaurant. Cafe and Dairy or whatever it is, I don't know. Let's have a look. I forget the name of it now, just to be sure. Cafe, Bakery and Coffee Shop, that's it. 141 Bakery and Coffee Shop. Really original name. I'm sure they could have come up with a better name for it. And they are renowned for award-winning pies, so Google says. So this is the pie. It's a steak and cheese, my favourite. That's around the outside. That's the lid. Puff pastry lid, so we're going to get some mess on the bench, but the base looks like perfect, doesn't it? Absolutely bang on. So where do we start? Well, what was that? Is that Mr. Ratty trying to get in? There is a slight compromise just there. Like, I just noticed that now. There's a bit of a lift. So I'm going to start there, because that way then it can't fail, can it? Pretty hot. First bite shot. There you go. Pie. That's pretty good. It's all about the first bite, isn't it? What's it going to taste like? Obviously, lots of pastry in the first bite. Okay. It's quite, you know, it does flex. And if you look at the base pastry, that hard crust is incredibly thin. Very, very thin. It's almost deceivingly thin. That's very hot. Oh, now we've got some spam coming through. Thank you very much. I can't see any of the comments. Appreciate that. Igors, I sure hope so, but they are still hiding in a warehouse somewhere. That's how we got an exhaust resonator for my brother's 1982 YZ250. There's an amazing amount of parts just sat dusty on shelves, and it's just a case of trying to find them. It's not an easy task sometimes. Kill Switch. Been busy rebuilding a Suzuki 750 dented tank, electrics, and a colour change. Nice. Nice. So with the dented tank, did you blow it back out with compressed air, or how did you fix that? Now we've got a lot of spam. I'm not even going to bother doing anything with it at the moment. Hopefully it'll just disappear off the bottom. If you guys want to fire a few more comments through now, then it'll go off the top of the screen and I can see what's going on. Okay. I'm going to crack on with the pie because I'm hungry. Now, taste stroke flavour contents. This is a steak and cheese pie. I've not hit any cheese yet. Definitely no cheese yet. But it tastes pretty good. Now, this is the taste of the contents, not the pastry itself. Oh, huge chunk of meat. Good job. Okay, pretty good. Going to give it an 8. Now, structure for Lilli partners. It's not just the true structure of the pie we'll look at. It's how much of the pie will end up in your car. Now, we've already got, there you go, look, we've already got some of the puff pastry that's fallen out. So that will now be between your legs, in your car, on your seat, and down in the footwell. Not ideal, to be perfectly honest. So, from a structural perspective, We've still got the lid sort of lifting off here, but that's expected on puff pastry. You can't really avoid that, unfortunately. But it still detracts, you know, it's still a negative thing when it comes to eating the pie, should you decide to do such a thing in your vehicle. So I'm going to give it, at this point in time, and it might change as we go along, but it feels pretty solid, to be fair. I think it's going to do pretty well. Although it is really a two-handed pie, you know, I'm sort of holding the lid in place as I'm eating it. I don't like the puff pastry stuff falling everywhere. I think there was one pie that was pretty good with puff pastry. This one is okay. So I'm going to give it, do I give it an 8? I'll give it an 8. It's doing pretty well. A couple of marks off for the puff pastry side of things. Now, runnability test. Here we go. It's still pretty hot. 45 degrees, 30 seconds. Here we go. Boom. Is it going to leak? Is it going to drop out? We've got a bit of gravy coming out there, look. It's not really moving now, though. It seems to have stopped. So it is actually quite stable. The internals are quite stable. They're not over runny. So if you're busy on the phone talking to somebody and you forget the angle of your pie, I think you're going to get away with it on with this particular pie. It's pretty good. Okay, so that is a pass. There's nothing moving at all. It's pretty good. So it gets a 10. That's it. I think the runnability test is a very valid test. And it's great that it got full marks on there. Wow, look at that. Huge chunks of meat. Absolute monsters. Now, the meat quality, it's pretty good. It's not premium, but it's pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8 for the meat quality. Now, if we get a chunk of gristle later on, that will come down. Okay. Pie to crust ratios. This is actually the filling, really. It's the filling to the amount of pastry that we've got kicking around that makes up the pie. And there is actually quite a lot of filling in there. It's doing pretty well. And the pastry, if you look across the base, I know it's a bit out of focus and I can't really help that. Very, very thin across the base. Very thin pastry. Although it does get quite chunky around here, look. And this side is equally as chunky as well, but the lid is actually quite, because it's puff pastry, there's not really much volume there. Look at that. It's not bad. Okay, so could it be any better? Yeah, it's pretty chunky around the sides. But overall, I mean, the base is super thin, but it's also quite strong, which is what we want to see in a pie. I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's not bad. Now, availability stroke logistics. This is made by the lady's husband in that particular bakery. You can't get them anywhere else. They don't have a website. You can't buy them online. There's only one place in New Zealand you can get these pies, and that's in Wanganui at 141 Victoria Street Bakery and Cafe. That's it. If you're in Queenstown and you wanted one of these pies, it's a very long drive, you know? So they only get 1 out of 10. It's just the way it is because, you know, pies have to be accessible. Now, pastry taste rating. So we'll start off with a bit of the puff pastry first. All over the bench. Now, I did clean the bench yesterday, so it's not too bad. Now, it's reasonably tasty, and there's no weird aftertastes. Let's go for a bit of normal pastry now, the main carcass, because it's quite a different pastry to the top. Again, just checking for any weird aftertastes, consistency. Does it feel a bit weird? It's a little bit gooey, actually, is the pastry, the bulk of it, on the main carcass. Almost like it's too thick and it hasn't properly cooked. You still see this bit here, look, it's very thick. That's probably about 10 millimeters thick, that bit. So that does lose a few marks. I'm going to go with, what do I give them? A 7 or an 8? I think a 7. I've tasted better pastry than that, a lot better. Okay, still tasty when cold? We don't know yet. Now, packaging design. Hang on, there's some more crumbs. Nice. It's just a paper bag, your standard brown paper bag from a bakery that they use in New Zealand. She did write on for me which ones were which, so I didn't get mixed up. That wouldn't normally be there. It would just be a blank paper bag. So it wasn't much design actually going into this paper bag. Not really, pretty basic. What does it get for that? One, really? They've just bought the bag. It's just a paper bag. That's it. They get one. Now, recycling score. It is a paper bag, so it's fully recyclable. It doesn't tell us it is. There's nothing on there with a little recycling symbol, so there's one mark for that. So they get 9. 9 out of 10 for that bit. That's pretty good. Post heartburn. Too early to tell, so hang in there. And stuffability score. So I need to eat some more pie. But quick check. There you go. Have another look. There you go. Are you hungry yet? I bet you are. Right. Wow. Monstrous chunk of meat. Proper one. There we go. Comments. Let's go back. There we are. The Giant. Anyone buy a piece of land in Scotland? I did. Peter Kuhn. Hi, Andy from Hungary. Enjoy your meal. Thank you very much, Peter. It's doing all right, actually. It's not the best pie I've tasted, but it's pretty good. The gravy's getting a bit lively. Look at that. We nearly lost a bit. Connor, I agree completely. For Giant, here we go. What will it cost if I wanted to purchase a piece of land? Well, believe it or not, there was, I don't know if it's still going on, because I bought the land a couple of days ago. But they had a Black Friday sale thing going on. And if you put the Drive Tribe 10% discount in as well, you get that in addition to the Black Friday discount, which is pretty cool. A discount on a discount. So all up for 5 square feet of Scotland, it cost me, I think, less than 60 New Zealand dollars. Let me just double check, because there was an exchange rate thing going on. So I'm just going to pop into my, an ant. Jeez, he'd be a fat ant after today. I'm just going to see exactly how much I actually paid, just to be accurate about this. Bear with me. Now, where was it? Thursday? Wednesday? Right. So all up, that's right, because I ordered a printed certificate as well. So all up was $110.82 New Zealand, not US, that's New Zealand dollars. So 110 bucks for 5 square feet of land and the certificate. And if I remember rightly, the certificate was $30. So not bad, really. And because it's a piece of an estate in Scotland, which carries the status of the original landowner as a lord, you then have the ability, or the right, I think it says, the right to claim the title of lord as the landowner. Lord Andy, pretty cool. Which is the main reason why I did it. I mean, the knock-on effect is I now own a small piece of Scotland, which is quite nice. I wonder if I have to pay rates on it. That could be interesting. Simon. Cross-reference. Some part numbers. Looks like the GSX R750 GR77A from 1989 to 1990 used the same ones on the engine side of the airbox. You see, Simon's brilliant. Well done, Simon. So that might help. Igors, Dobroskis. The Giant, are you referring to the commercial of heavy D-sparks? I think it is some kind of scam. Oh, probably. Kill switch. Managed to put some of the dent, pull some of the dent out using welds, and then filled it. Double skinned, so it didn't affect the inner. Good call. Good call. Did you try compressed air? That's usually pretty good at popping them out. It's a bit late now. For James, I am referring to the land what Andy recently bought. Well, I got the link off a recent drive time video. So if you go onto there, and there's a link in the description of the video. You don't have to watch the whole video. And it's pretty cool, actually. Bit of fun. For James. Oh, sorry, I didn't get that. I was late to the start of the stream. That's all right, mate. Simon, I had a look on eBay on those pictures, really. Looked similar, but had no idea of actual size and fitment. Now you know. Purple Monkey 1974. Is the missus a lady now? Well, officially, she could claim the status of lady. So, Lady Mrs. Mechanic. Look at that. Another great chunk of meat sticking out. Pretty good. Now, we're at the end of the pie. And a little bit of a disappointment, actually. Now, it may well be that the lady labelled the pies up incorrectly in the store, because I bought 4 pies at the same time, and she labelled all the bags. There's been no cheese in this pie. It isn't a steak and cheese pie, it's a steak pie. That's okay, but it might explain the reason why there's no cheese in there. There's puff pastry everywhere. Right. Would it still be tasty when cold? Yeah, I think it'd be all right, actually. I think it'd be okay. You could probably leave it in your glove box for a few days, and if you're really, really hungry, you could eat that pie. As long as it hasn't been sat in a hot car for quite a while. That's the only thing. So, still tasty when cold. I'm going to give it a 7 for that. You get a 7. Okay, pen's not working. Post pie heartburn. Well, for me personally, puff pastry seems to give me more heartburn than normal pastry. But at the moment, I'm absolutely fine. We've not had any burps, and there appears to be no kind of reflux. So I'm going to give it a 10 at the moment. That may well change. Stuffability score. It's done the trick. I'm not hungry at all. I don't want anything else to eat. But I also don't feel overstuffed. So it's going to get a 10 for that as well. Pretty high score. Now, pie server attractiveness. This is the category that Simon Rule came up with. So if you have any complaints about this, please direct them to Simon. Oh man, there's pastry everywhere. Probably mid-30s. Very attractive. Don't think anything of that, Mrs. Mechanic. It's purely an appraisal. Very attractive young lady. Mid-30s. I say young lady, mid-30s. But extremely welcoming. Very, very welcoming. How can we help? What would you like? Super helpful. Very interested in the YouTube channel. And very proud of the fact that we were going to do a pie review on one of the pies that her husband had made for the store. And that I'd, chosen to buy the pies from them. It was actually a really nice sort of feeling. And even when I was leaving, so she was saying goodbye and all that kind of stuff. So very cool. So I felt very welcome in that store. I would definitely go back, and I think she deserves for such. Oh, that was a burp. That was a burp. I held that one in. So we get 9 now for that, the heartburn one. I believe she deserves, and she was made up. She spent some time getting organised in the morning, because it's important. I'm going to give her a 9. I really am. I thought she was pretty good. Okay, did a good job. Mrs. Mechanic's no doubt going to chew my ear later on about this, but I've got to stand my ground. She deserves the 9. I'm going to give her the 9. That's why we have the category assignment, isn't it? And I would have felt quite happy to eat the pie in the cafe, in the bakery place, because there are plenty of seats and stuff. And I'm sure she'd have continued to talk to me, because it wasn't over busy. That's the feeling that I have. Right, let's do some divorce coming, I know. Yeah. Okay, let's do some addition, some arithmetic, some math, call it that. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay. You've got to be fair about things, though. If somebody deserves a good score, you've got to give them a good score, and you shouldn't think too much into it. Okay, here we go. Put you down. Boom, boom, boom. Right, we have got all the scores in. Hopefully the camera won't fall off the table. Okay, 16, 26, 34, 42, 43, 50, 57, 58, 67, 76, 86, 95. Not bad. Not a bad score at all. A score to be proud of. Now, if my arithmetic is incorrect, please let me know as soon as possible, because I'm going to start writing out the cardy thing. So, first of all, where it came from. So, just going to change my screen again. Boom. The official name for this bakery, which is really weird, is 141 Bakery and Coffee Shop. And this was in Wanganui. Probably spelt it wrong. And it was a steak and cheese. Well, it wasn't, was it? It was just a steak pie, really. There was no cheese in that. I'll just put steak pie. There was definitely no cheese in that. And they got 95. Pretty good. And I'll put chunky meat. There you go. Smiley face. Okay. Did we get the addition right? Any comments come through saying about... Okay, right, that was pretty good. Right, let's go and get it on the board and see where it stands. 95. That's a good score, isn't it? It's not the best, but it's pretty good. Okay. 90. Oh, there's a space made for it, look. Look at that. Filled in the gap. So, Wild Bean Cafe, meatball and bacon, 95. Esquire's Cafe Steak and Cheese, 96. Would they have got a higher score if it had cheese in? I don't know. Would it have tasted nicer? I might have given it a bit more on the tasty one, maybe, because at that time I thought it was still a steak and cheese pie. But it's sort of rubbing shoulders with some pretty hard hitters. Wild Bean Cafe, classic steak and cheese. So I'd actually scored the Wild Bean Cafe, the classic, which is the economy steak and cheese, more marks than that one. However, there's probably a main reason for that, is the Wild Bean Cafe pies are available all over New Zealand, whereas this pie is only available at this one bakery. So these guys only got 1 out of 10 for that, whereas the Wild Bean Cafe would have got probably 7, 8, maybe even 9 for their score on availability. So I'm not saying that this is a worse pie, but overall, including the ability to actually go and buy one, it obviously drops a few points. So still not bad at all, actually. You see, you got Yo-Yo's steak pie just down the road. Very tasty, 96. And Yo-Yo's, they make their own pies as well, the same as the 141 Bakery. So that would have only got 1 out of 10 for availability. So very close, in fact. Very close indeed. But you know what? Another pie on the leaderboard. And pretty close to the top. That's awesome. Would I have another one of those pies? Yes. Yes, I would. Especially if I went to go and get it myself from the bakery. I'm in so much trouble. Oh dear. I dig myself holes all the time, don't I? Right. My video is terribly pixelated at the moment, unfortunately. But that's okay, because that's the internet from my from my phone. This one. Why is it that the camera is never level when I come back? How bizarre is that? There we go. Okay, as long as I can see the comments, we're good. Right. Hang on, mate. Right. Hang on. Gotta scroll back. Right. Purple Monkey SFO. Is the missus a lady now? She can be. Yes, she can use that status. I just got to prove mine first. So let me get Lord Andy on my driver's license. Then we're all good there. The Giant, Lord Andy, how do I go about purchasing a piece of land? Well, you have to go on to. Well, if you go on to Drive, it's. Just bear with me. Bear with me. What was it called? Something Estates. I can't remember. I'm useless. Right, it's Drive Tribe. There he is, Drive Tribe. Boom. It's not often I go onto other people's YouTube channels on mine. Right. Now, videos. It was one of the most recent videos. Now, I think it was this one. So just bear with me. I think it was this one. Yes, there we are. Right. Go on to the website establishedtitles, one word, .com/Drive Tribe. Okay, so that's established. So www. Right? Establishedtitles.com/Drive Tribe. If you just want the link, then go on to the Drive Tribe YouTube channel and go on to the video that's titled "We Bought the Cheapest Jaguar XKR in the UK. Project Jag Part 1. Okay, if you go on to that, look in the comments, the link is there. Click on it, go and have a look. Very, very cool. And I believe the first 200 people to buy a bit of land in Scotland through their promotion, me being one, so 199 left, assuming I got to be one of them actually, all the plots are going to be pretty close to the Drive Tribe community, which is going to be a good thing as well. Okay, there we go. Right, scrolling down. So hopefully that helps. Kill switch. Where the dent was, it was on the upper part of the tank. So pulling was better than blowing. Okay, which is a line I've never told the missus. That was one step ahead of you there, matey. Oh, YouTube's going to ban us. They are. Ah, dear. J. Billy Josh, divorce coming, lol. Oh, we jest. Mrs. Mechanic's awesome. She's never going to leave me. She's too good. Been together since she was like 15 years old. A long time. John Nuttall, Igor's Bavroskis. They're the ones from the head to the carb tube, like the ones you need. Andy, can I give a firm's contact here? Yeah, I don't see why not. I think you can, John. I don't think there's a problem with that. I don't mind. If for some reason it won't publish it in the comments, if you want to flick me on an email, and I can, you know, if you, I can then forward it on if need be, or you can just get his email address. Now then, Simon. Sorry, Mrs. Andy. Yeah, we're always in trouble, aren't we? Igor's Dabrowskis. How is the progress with the lathe and their parts? It's completely on hold. There is absolutely no progress whatsoever. Andy has been far too busy, and in all honesty, I have to do Jared's go-kart before I even think about putting that thing back together again. And I'm going to have to watch the videos that I did taking it apart, because I can't even remember how the whole thing goes back together now. I know I need some more grub screws and bits and pieces, and probably some bushes. There's one more order to sort out, and I've not had time to do it yet. Over Christmas, I'll probably get that order put in, and then the bits will probably arrive in sometime in February. You know, so it'll get put back together next year, I'm sure. I want to give it to Ben for his a birthday, at least. He'll like it. He'll make use of it. And it's good now that he's got himself a little workshop set up back in Auckland as well. So he's got somewhere for it, which is nice. Because there was about a year where he didn't. He'd lost his workshop. The Giants, J. Billy Josh, Lord Andy will be sleeping in the workshop tonight. Yeah, it wouldn't be for the first time, to be perfectly honest. Not this workshop, but I have slept in a few workshops over the years for similar reasons. Yes. Igor's Bravelsky's, John Nuttall. They are the ones from the carb to the airbox, tube-like, but with a shoulder for sealing on the airbox itself. Yeah, very similar to the ones on the CB750 we fitted. Purple Monkey 1974, 141. You'll never get a 2-for-1 offer there. There's always one, isn't there? There's always somebody that picks up on that kind of stuff. I never thought of that. That's funny. Igor Dabrowskis, John Nuttall. They do not end at the box. They seal on the box and continue some centimeters inside the box. Yeah, that's going to be to do with tuning and stuff, you know. Simon, I think I handed you the shovel for that hole you're in. You did, and I made full use of it, didn't I? Cheers, Simon. J. Billy Josh, the Giant Governor, haha. Igor Dabrowskis, Simon are all thumbs up. Springy 2112. Look up established title scam first. Don't do that. Don't burst my bubble. Loads of videos saying it's a scam. I don't know personally, just what I'm seeing today. Oh, hit the like. Thanks, Simon. It can't be a scam. I've got a certificate and everything. It can't be a scam. Why would it be on Drive Tribe? Why would they sponsor Drive? Drive Tribe's a well-known, well-established, you know, their lawyers would have checked it out first. I have every faith in them. It's not a scam. I don't want to, don't burst my bubble. I've got a bit of land in Scotland now. It cost me $100. Mrs. Mechanic's going to give me some grief now for buying the land, thinking it could be a scam. Oh, Springy, you've dug me a hole. Another. So I'm in 2 holes at the moment. Very cold coffee and still no spiders in it, which is good. Okay, we're an hour and 27 minutes in. We're going to call it a day at an hour and a half, which is pretty standard for one of my live streams. I do have a lot of work still to do today, and I do need to get that ROV finished today, ideally. So, last few comments, questions. Over to you, crew. I'm going to finish my cigarette. Did we get any more stuff come through on the phone? Sometimes people message me on the phone during the live stream. So I don't know. We've had lots of road accidents here in New Zealand recently. It's not been good. It's not been good at all. Lots of fatalities, which is a bit of a shame. Man, my internet is on this phone. It's really, really struggling at the moment. Really struggling. Philip Hall. Oh, here we go. John Horner. Another comment from the YouTube channel. Much more entertaining than UK Saturday night TV. Awesome. Thanks, John. John was watching doing the radio stuff on the DR200 Farm Special. I thought that video went on a bit long, really, but I'm pleased that somebody liked it. And Ron Gurr, Ron, if you are watching the live stream, which is highly unlikely, Ron was asking where I got the wiring harness from for the electronic pickups on the CB750K2. Well, it did come with some wiring, but I modified it to make it even better. But other than that, it comes with the kit. And Powell Pinter, I can't tell you where the front mudguard came from on the old Kawasaki Sherpa because it was on the bike when I worked on it. But some of the Sherpas do come with a high mudguard, not a low mudguard. So there you go. So probably, genuine part. Now, where do we get to? Simon, Saturday Night TV used to be brilliant, but now it's just crap. So you've lowered the bar right down, and that explains why my video was better than Saturday Night TV. Thanks, Simon. Feels so much better now, mate. There's some amazing stuff on YouTube. There really is. It really, really is. We're watching. In fact, we're watching a series at the moment on a bit of pie. On TVNZ, which is to do with an SA, or the starting of the SAS, the parachute regiment, which it was originally, Special Air Service. I forgot the name of it now. See if I can find it. It's very, very good. You should watch it. So let me find it. SAS TVNZ series. Rogue Heroes. That's the one. Rogue Heroes. Bloody good. Well filmed. Well put together. Funny. Interesting. Gets you on the edge of your seat. Gotta watch it. Very cool. You should watch it. Rogue Heroes. We're here in New Zealand. It's been, you're only getting one episode per week, so I think we're 3 episodes in now, and there'll be another episode released on Monday night, which I'll be able to watch with Mr. Mechanic because I'll be at home, which would be nice. Yes, don't go to Auckland until Tuesday morning, so I can watch that. Excellent. Now then, J. Billy Josh, Virginia Governor, haha. I got Simon Roll, thumbs up. Don't encourage him. Springy. Oh, sorry, done that one. Hit the like. Springy one. 2112. Okay, it's okay. I've just popped to Scotland. Found your land. Tell Mr. Mechanic it's legit. I will appreciate that. And excellent bit of driving there. So you got there pretty quick. Simon. Well, if a guy in a workshop can outdo a TV company with a massive budget, that says something. It does. And this is just what I do, you know, I enjoy it, and I know I need to make more videos, but I'm just really busy, and I have got more in the pipeline, but I'm sort of really busy at the moment, and I'm looking forward to that Christmas special. I really am. It'll be nearly a year from when we did the trip to when the first episode goes out. Crazy, but there's some really cool stuff on that trip. When I reflect back, there's a lot of stuff that we did in 2 weeks. It was very, very cool, and hopefully most of it's on camera. Most of it. Now, where do we get to? Purple Monkey 1974. You get a GPS reference for the land? Yes. And I think I took a photo of it. I think. It's a very complicated GPS reference, so you'll have to bear with me. Hang on. Screenshots. Is it in that? Yes. Right. Geez. Okay. So 55 degrees, 44 minutes, 36.050,603,1144 seconds north. I'll put it to the screen in a second for you. And 3 degrees, 15 minutes, 31.39240754952 seconds west. I think that's how you pronounce it. There you go. That's my bit of land. So you'll be able to play this back at some point and, you know, find it on Google Maps. You can just type in those references into the search function on Google Maps and it will drop a little pin for you. And that's the bit of land that I own, hopefully, if it's not a scam. Very cool. There you go. Okay, so hopefully those that needed that got that. Oh God, my internet is so crap. I can't even read it on mine. Okay, cool. Oh, lots more spam. Very good. What the hell is all that about? Where do we get to? Yes, I'm pleased that you held that for review. So there you go. I think that's about it. What else have we got? I don't want that. Go away. Springy 2112. Check out the satellite view. I'll wave. I'm not typing all that in now. I'll be here till lunchtime. Good man. Okay, we're 3 cigarettes in. We've done the pie, done all the updates. Don't forget to check out Steve's Racing and find out where he got to. That's the series there, look. So Steve Elliott in his Lotus Elise. He did extremely well. Top bloke. So if you get a chance to follow him on the internet, every now and again they do film it as well. He does go out on live TV. Top bloke. Top driver. Really is. Purple Monkey said, I hope it's not in the middle of the loch. No, it's on land. It really is on land. Probably, I think part of the money that you pay helps to plant some new trees, which is another reason why I did it as well, because there's not enough trees around. Unless somebody chop the tree down and steal it. I'd like to have a tree on there. I like trees. Okay, it's time for me to get some work done. Thank you all again very much for watching, joining me in this ramble of conversation. Very weird stuff we're talking about. And I'll see you next Sunday at 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time. And until then, have a safe week. Do stuff, have fun, and stay safe. Okay, crew, thank you again. Cheers for all your support. Over and out.